Yusuf Buba Yakubu, the Director General, Nigeria Technical Headco.
You were appointed about 3 months. What are the challenges you met on ground, and what can you look up to and say in the past 90 days or thereabouts you've been able to get?
Well, you know, challenges are things that come up on a daily basis, either in an individual's life or in the life of any organization. So when I came in, I met a lot of challenges, although there are challenges that are surmountable. First, the infrastructure generally was dilapidated, and I went in to personally renovate some of the infrastructure, and that's why you see the office is looking good now. And secondly, we found some backlog of volunteers that have not been deployed, and I also hit the ground running by deploying just 3 times within a space of 2 months. We deployed volunteers to Liberia twice, and also deployed some judges to Gambia. And apart from that, we immediately put a technical committee in place, a committee of experts that comprise professors in different fields like law, political science, and finance, and other fields. And I invited the Honorable Minister of Foreign Affairs. He came himself to commission that technical committee, who have given us their report. And the report is what we will use as our working documents going forward. So the directorate, apart from the 3 deployments, we have also received back volunteers from Liberia, and we have done what we call the debriefing of our volunteers, which has not been done for a very long time now, but we have resumed that. And we have also engaged training of our corpers and also some of our staff in the ICT and media departments to improve their performance so that they will meet up with the current development in the ICT world. So that training is for 3 months, and it is still ongoing, although we have graduated some of the trainees, but the training will end in December, December ending. So these and so many other things which may come up in the course of the interview are some of the achievements we have made upon resumption of office about 3 months today.
Well, very, very nice. Obviously, quite a lot you've been able to do within such a short space of time. But having said this, is it true to say that your stint in the House of Representatives, where you were the chair of the Committee on Foreign Affairs, have adequately prepared you for this position?
Yeah, definitely. You know, the Foreign Affairs Committee oversights the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and all its agencies. And this is one of the agencies under the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. And so I am not new here. This is an agency that I have oversighted for 4 years during my stewardship as the chairman Foreign Affairs Committee. So I know very much about this agency. I know its challenges. I know the areas that we will need to improve upon, which I am doing. As you very much know, that this Directorate for Technical Headco was established in 1987 to serve as an instrument to deploy soft power diplomacy to African, Caribbean, and the Pacific nations. And you know, the world has changed now. Soft power is the in thing because nobody wants to use coercion to make friendship. So developed countries of the world are changing their style of using force to coerce nations to play to their rhythms. Instead, they use soft diplomacy, which is why our leaders in the past have decided to establish the Nigerian Technical EDCO to deploy this soft power diplomacy. And this I have known, and I have seen where the loopholes are even before I come here, because I was directly oversighting the agency. So I think it really helped being in the National Assembly and in the Foreign Affairs Committee before coming here.
The year is about to end, but are there still special things we might be seeing coming from NTAC?
Yeah, so many. Even on the 5th of this month, we will also be inviting the press to come. There we will do another debriefing of our volunteers coming in from Sierra Leone. So that will be one of the immediate programs we will be doing. And apart from that, we will also, towards the end of the month, advertise for Nigerians who have expertise in different fields to start applying to be volunteers in the coming year. So those are some of the programs that we'll be embarking on before the end of the year. And apart from the program of the 5th, we will have another one on the 20th, which we will also invite you, if you are available, to come and cover. That also will be another debriefing of volunteers coming from Guinea-Bissau. So we still have programs to execute before the end of the year.
Well, I know you've alluded the gains and advantages of the technical aid scheme. But is it also correct to say that the federal government has abandoned our own problems in Nigeria to come and look for ways to help other African and Caribbean brothers?
Well, it's very, very wrong to say that, except a novice who does not know what it means about what international relations means. Because you cannot survive as a country without dealing with other countries. No country survives on its own. That is why anytime you see Committee of Nations use the hard power diplomacy and impose sanctions on a country, you see the country crying and dying. No matter how strong a country is, by the time other nations who are your neighbors close up their boundaries and impose sanction on you, then you will know what it means to concentrate on international relations. Foreign policy is the engine room, is the life of every country. If you look at the developed countries, you will see what it means by foreign policy. The US, you go to China and so on, you will see how they are presently deploying soft power diplomacy so as to make friends. You need to make friends to survive among the Committee of Nations. And as it is said now that the world is just a global village. The world is just a small place now. So you cannot isolate yourself and think if you are investing in foreign policy or in some of the foreign policy instruments to say you are wasting your resources. If you don't build that relationship very well, then your economy back home will be dying. So when you make friends and then when you discover investments in other countries and your citizens can go out and peacefully do their investments in other countries and bring in foreign direct investments into your country, that is when you are qualified to even be called a nation that is breathing. But if your nation is isolated and foreign investors are not coming in, then you are in trouble. And that is why you see our President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is all over the world trying to woo investors, trying to convince investors to say Nigeria is a safe haven Nigeria is a place that you can come in to invest. And until you have that, the value of your currency will continue to drop. And the same Nigerians who maybe are not novices in that area will say, why is our currency dropping? It is not magic. You must be able to attract friends and business partners to come into your country. You must be able to go out to other countries freely to do business and bring in foreign direct investment into your country before your currency will have value, before your economy will grow. So I think Nigerians should know that. In fact, we are not doing enough in terms of investment in our foreign policy instruments that are supposed to bring in foreign direct investment into our country. And thank God, with the 4D agenda of Mr. President, of democracy, diaspora development that is on ground now, Nigeria is going places, and we are regaining our prestige among the Committee of Nations.
Thank you. But beyond all these, how sustainable do you see the technical aid corps? I mean, in the years ahead, how sustainable do you think it is going?
Yeah, very sustainable, because we just like Mr. President have given us the high call order to make sure we think outside the box, and for all government agencies to make sure that revenue is generated to run affairs of the government. In DTAC, or the Nigerian Technical Aid Corps, we are also doing the same thing. If you look at our act, we have the privilege to get the funding from international donor agencies and the international organization. We are going to explore that, so that going forward we will not depend only on the annual budget within the country to implement some of our foreign policy agendas, but we will be able to also generate revenue for the directorate, so that we will continue to grow. And our target, as I said, always, we have set a target for ourselves. In our first 1 year of my stewardship here, we are going to reach out to like 20 countries. Presently, we are in 11. We'll reach out to 20 countries, and going forward in the next 3-4 years, we will reach out to a minimum of 50 countries. And that is our target, and that is the goal, to show our presence in Africa, to show our presence in the Caribbean and in the Pacific. And going forward, we even looking at amending the act that established us to even show our presence in other countries of the world. Because already, because of the good work we are doing, other countries that are not in Africa or in the Caribbean are also seeking for cooperation with the Nigerian Technical Aid Corps, so that they will also benefit from this beautiful instrument of soft power diplomacy.
Permit me, sir, to take you back to the last 3 months of the beginning of this. Besides deploying volunteers to Liberia and, of course, Georges to the Gambia, you've also visited some of the recipient countries under the Technical Aid Corps scheme. Can you briefly share with us the benefits of this movement, and if there were any experiences it entered to you, can you just take us through that?
Yes, when we toured some of the African countries, the target is threefold. One, to monitor and evaluate the performance and the welfare of our volunteers out there. And then secondly, to engage with some of those countries, the leadership of those countries at their top level, to see, to review and see how far this program has impacted into the life of those countries. And then thirdly, we also went round to make sure that the citizens of those countries are really feeling the impact of the activities of the Nigerian Technical Aid Corps and the Nigerian government in their various countries. And the report was excellent because, for example, when we visited Uganda, we met with the Minister of Education, Minister of State for Education, and happy to say that she told us she was also a beneficiary of this scheme when she was in school. She was trained by some Nigerian Technical Aid Corps volunteers in the university. And so you can see how far this program have reached. People at the top level of government in those countries being beneficiaries of this scheme. And it is not only in Uganda, even in other countries that we have visited. And all the vice chancellors and other heads of organizations where our volunteers are serving also gave excellent pass mark to our volunteers because you know, Nigerians, wherever we find ourselves, we always excel. So by that, the citizens too of those countries, since you know, if we send our volunteers, they see those volunteers as Nigerians. So what they see is Nigeria, not that volunteer as an individual. So it has attracted them to our ways of life, our culture as a people, and also they are attracted to come into Nigeria to learn more. For example, in Uganda, some of our volunteers invented building materials from fibers of banana and other agricultural products, and it is being used there for their building project. So these are some of the impact this program is making in the life of our sisters and brother African and Caribbean nations. And so that visit was very successful, and we have reviewed our relationship with those countries in terms of technical aid and so on. And going forward, we will also continue to build on that relationship that has been established. In the present world today, we use soft power diplomacy to make friends. And if you make friends, then you can be able to deal freely within the territory of your friend. If you don't have friendship with countries, that means your citizens who are businessmen cannot go out to those countries to do their businesses freely. They cannot go out to those countries for either tourism or either educational tourism, medical tourism, or so many other things that your citizens need to do. Because the world is a global village, you cannot cage yourself and expect to make impact among the Committee of Nations. And so, you know, that we have different regional and international organizations where Nigeria is a member. And in so many of these regional organizations, we have our sons and daughters, like the Ngozis, like the Adeshinas and so on, who are heading those organizations. Those leadership of those organizations mostly come through elections and through the buy-in of other nations that are also members. So if you don't have friends, there is no way you can be elected or selected or nominated to lead such organizations by other countries, because you as a country, you are just one, and you are a member of an organization that has maybe 50, 40 or more countries, or even 100. So you must build friendship, you must be able to show and derive respect from those countries before they will entrust those leadership in the hands of your citizens. So that is one other aspect where soft power diplomacy can lead you to. And then there are so many other areas of benefits. Let me give you an example with China. You know, China is everywhere in the world today. And the secret is using soft power diplomacy to penetrate the world. That's why you can find Chinese citizens in every part of our country, because Nigerians have already identified with either their products, Nigerians have identified with their cultures. Our citizens go out there either for some courses or for trade and so on. So that is one of the key things a country needs to do to achieve that level. So I think the Nigerian Technical Aid Corps is very, very strategic in deploying one of our very important instruments of soft power diplomacy to put us out in the face of the world.
Okay, so you see, so a few days back, the president had presented the budget for 2024, and we have seen that the benchmark for the dollar have been put at 750 naira to the dollar. But we all know how the forex situation has been, especially in Nigeria. And your agency dealing with a lot of diplomats who have to travel out of Nigeria. Of course, we know the impact of the dollar to your budget. Now, what is the plan from your agency to make sure that we don't have this forex crisis that could have some negative impact in your budget, and so it does not affect how you implement what you have in your budget?
Yeah, that has been one of our major challenges in the Nigerian Technical Aid Corps. Because let me give you an example with the 2023 budget. In 2023, the exchange rate that was used was about 413 or thereabout. And today, we are in December, and the exchange rate have skyrocketed to almost 8,000, or in the black market, more than 8,000. So you can see it's about 300% differential from what we budgeted to operate with. So if, for example, you are targeting to send out 500 volunteers, you will hardly be able to send out 100 plus. So that is a major challenge, not only for the Nigerian Technical Aid Corps, but for most of the government institutions that use dollar or other hard currencies to pay their workers. So, but be that it may be, we have come in with different strategies, because there is no challenge that is unsurmountable, as I said earlier. So that is why we are planning to explore other means of generating funds to make sure that this beautiful foreign policy initiative is not deterred in any way due to inflation or due to exchange rate, as you said. So we will keep going, and we will even do better than we are doing, even in the midst of all these challenges.
Okay, Your Excellency, let me take you. Let's look at a very, very critical issue here, which has to do with corruption. Most especially in our NGOs. Now, I want to know, because each time this crops up, people begin to say that the major corruption is the one we find within the NGOs. Now, I want to ask if you concur with this, or what have you been doing over the last 3 years? You've been here for over 3 months now. What have you been doing, to see how you can be able to tackle this challenge in your own in your agencies?
Well, the issue of corruption is caused by unpatriotism. If once you are not patriotic, then you will allow everything to happen. But if you have patriotic leaders, just as the crop of leaders we have under the leadership of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu right now, you will know that all those leakages and tendencies of corruption will be blocked. And that is why you see Mr. President has set a goal had set a target for every MDA and every ministry or department of government. You must meet up your target. If you don't, you are not ready to, then you get out and allow other people who can do that to come in. In every organization, there are rules. We have the civil service rules, we have the financial regulations, and we have rules laid down to for leaders and for every worker in the organization to follow. As long as there is the right leadership to ensure that everybody work according to the rules and regulations laid down, the issue of corruption will not be there. And that is what we are doing here, to make sure we operate according to rule, and to make sure that the little resources we have is used to achieve maximum impact in the life of our country. So I think we will try to fight the monster and make sure it does not rear its head, at least in the area of our jurisdiction.
Let's talk a little about you. My little research into your public records has always shown that you've been a passionate believer in service delivery. The kind of person that most Nigerians might not really want to see, especially when it comes to delivering projects, because we know delivering projects always comes at the cost of matching or even stepping on some toes at times. But what can you say, sir, has been your driving force, to make this constant impact in any office you've been able to hold?
Well, it's, as I said earlier, it's just patriotism. If you love your country and you are God-fearing, you will make sure that you always give out your best. And then it is also my nature to always strive for excellence, to make sure that everywhere I find myself, I give in my best to make sure that there is an impact and to set a record that will be difficult to meet up by anybody that comes after me. So that is just what we are supposed to do as Nigerians, because all countries that have grown to become developed countries achieve that through patriotic leadership, leaders that have love for their country. And that is who I am, and I pray that God will continue to give me the grace to continue to do that.
Okay, sir. You see, I've known you for about 9 years now. I was with you in the National Assembly for 8 years, and today you're here. And one of the things that you have going for you is that you have this eye for excellence. And I want to ask, speak to us. Do you have any particular experience that really, molded you to this point that you are, that makes you always want to strive to come out the best in any office that you hold?
Yes, because it's the way I was brought up. Since I was young, though I was born into a family with a silver spoon in my mouth, but I refuse to identify with that, and I left that comfort to strive for things of my own. So if you look at my biography, you will see that everything I have achieved, I have started from the scratch. So I derive pleasure from struggling to see that whatever I do, I struggle to get, and not to just get it easy, and to make sure that it is of excellence. And so anything I do in life, I enjoy when I struggle to build something from scratch to become something of excellence to everybody. So it is my nature, and I think that is how God has molded me, and that is what I will enjoy doing for the rest of my life.
One will wonder, with all these, do you even have time to socialize, to rest, spend time with family and the rest? Is that what we see in you too?
Yes, I think I derive pleasure and socialize in my farm when I am with crops and animals, which is one of my major passion in life. Even when I was called upon to come and take up this office, I was in my farm, busy working. So that is where I derive pleasure, when I'm in the farm with animals and other sources of nature, like plants, water, and so on around me. So I think that is the only social life I have. That is the truth.
Okay, so what are the expectations for your agency in 2024? The project has just been laid, and do you have any? What are your plans for your agency and even your staff? Inclusive. What should Nigerians expect from your agency in the year 2024?
Well, what Nigerians should expect from the Nigerian Technical Aid Corps is performance. We will work hard to meet our targets. As I said earlier, in the next 1 year, that is in 2024, before December, by the grace of God, if we are alive, we will call you back to tell you we have met our target of showing Nigerian presence and making friends and showing our presence in 20 countries. That is our target. That is the target we have set, and that is what we are going to strive to achieve. And in the next 3 years or 4, we are targeting to show our presence in at least 50 countries. And that is what we are programmed to do here. And that is what Mr. President is expecting us to achieve, to make sure that we make at least 80 to 90%, we meet 80 to 90% of our targets or of our goals. And our KPI for the next 3-4 years is to show Nigeria presence in about 50 countries by the grace of God.
That's a very huge ambition. Last questions for me. As the year winds down in just a few weeks, are there any regrets for the year? Have there been steps you've taken? But eventually you had the chance, you would have said, oh, maybe I would have retraced my steps in this trip. And there are things you've also done, you're happy that you've been able to do in 2023. And what can you sum up your year for?
Well, so far so good. There is no regret, because great philosophers always say that whatever happens to you in life, you should never regret, because everything has a purpose. And when you pray, you should always ask God for His will to be done. So whatever happens is the will of God. It is human that will see as if it is bad, or it is good, or is excellent. But whatever happens in life is the will of God. So that is why there should be no regret. We only use some of the happenings as lessons to strive for better things ahead.
Okay, this one is my own final question too, and it's on a lighter note. Now let me ask you, what will you be caught doing while relaxing?
While I'm relaxing, you will see me playing with maybe cow in my farm, or goats, or in my fish ponds or so on. In fact, when my best time is when I am in the farm playing with animals, different type of animals, and I have so many different type of animals in my farm. So that is my best moment in life. And even if I die, I said I should be buried in my farm amongst my animals. So that's my best moment.
Thank you very much for your time.
Yeah, thank you.